I was ready to push the button. I was ready to push the button, guys, and the lens was still on my camera, and I realized it's like my camera's moved. It's like we did it again, guys. We did it again. It feels like the camera's moved. Good to be back. It's Friday, April 15, 2022. It's 2022, guys. Are you excited? Are you excited for the year 2022? Because it's April already. We're already in it. So I hope you're excited for it. Initially I was excited. But it turns out that, like, whether there's a pandemic or not, we're apparently just living in just a chaotic, nonsensical environment just at all times, I guess. I guess that's the new way of the world every year. We'll just be doing that. Today, as you could see, is my birthday, and I put into the title a joke. And I don't even know if anybody have even read it. I'm not sure. It seems to me there's only like 2 or 3 people that actually read the description of the video. But the joke was that I posted up in Discord about how, oh my God, we got the birthday stream coming up. We need to get 100,000 new. We need to get 100,000 new subscribers. We need to get, and nobody said anything. And so I was like, I raised it to 200,000. By the time I got to 300,000, finally I got a response. And so it was like, we're going for 300,000 or bust. So that's it today. We got to try and get 300,000 subscribers today. Or 300,000 new members. And I know, gosh, guys, here's the thing. We know that there's a lot of people out there with iPhones, right? And the people with iPhones, they don't even see the join button. So there it is. I put you a join button. I put you a join button in the chat. So you iPhone operators with your one button. Do you guys even have a button? Do you iPhone people even have a button anymore? I swear there's like one button on that thing. How do you turn your volume up and down if you don't have a volume button? You know what I mean? Yeah, Joel G says, remember to like the stream. We need 250,000 likes. That's what we need. We need 250,000 likes, guys, or we'll have failed. We'll have failed miserably. Because this year I have reached the it's all downhill from here age. Statistically speaking, isn't it 42, right? As Douglas Adams would say. The meaning of life and the answer to the question of everything or whatever. 42, right? That's gonna be it's gonna be a bummer, dude. It's gonna be a bummer, dude, if we're going downhill. But realistically, if we are, I'm gonna wear a hat. I probably won't be wearing any pants. I'll make it as wild as possible. If we're going downhill, I might as well make it as wild as possible. I'm going to have a good time with it, if that's the case. Because you got to think, like, if you're going downhill, at least try to do it at high speed while laughing, right? So, we're going to continue to do that. Today was an interesting day so far in my personal life. Woke up pretty tired, tuckered out from my week, and was getting ready for the day, and my daughter has a cough and a fever. She likes to say the fever, not a fever, a fever. A low-grade fever, so she has been home today. So I've only gotten a little bit of stuff I was going to get done today done. The plan on the docket is that I know some people are going to ask about the home buying experience. The home buying experience has been tenuous. What? I don't know. Vicky says I have to grab her some water. I'll be right back. I'll be right back, guys. Yeah. Okay, we're back. We're back, folks. I had to go up and help my spouse, my lovely lady. She needed help. You know, you get the call. You got to go up there and help your lady when she needs help. Unsure what's going on with that, but I don't. Now I can't remember what we were talking about. Does anybody remember what we were talking about? I don't remember. Y'all are on delay. What were we? I don't remember what we were talking about. Anyhow, the phone lines are open on the Discord today, so we're gonna do that. We got the phone lines open, but nobody's called in, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, we were talking about the home buying experience. Yeah, we're still poised on the precipice of basically just losing $25,000 plus the other money, a bunch of other stuff. So easily 30 grand here, pretty easily. We're on the precipice of that, which is going to be, it's going to be an astounding defeat if that ends up being the case. We're going to be, I'm going to be feeling pretty defeated for a little while. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You know, it's one of those things that, like, if I was going to give away $25,000, $30,000, whatever, I would definitely want that to go to somewhere. I would definitely want it to go somewhere that was going to do some good. But if it just ends up going to somebody selling their house, that's a bummer, dude. You know, like that's kind of a bummer. So we'd rather not that happen, you know. Or if anything, like maybe the seller gives it to charity or something. I don't know, some kind of charitable event. But I would guarantee that they probably wouldn't. They probably just put it in their pocket and then go resell the house or whatever. So the big issue is that, and nobody thought that this would happen, but we got a low appraisal that's 52 grand under what basically the sale price is, which means that we have to pay that gap plus the down payment and all that other stuff. Down payment, financing, closing costs, blah, blah, blah. We'd have to pay all of that stuff also, and we don't have that much money. So, yeah, it's kind of a bummer. So we'll see what happens, but yeah. Kiwi Mamo says, I had a lucky escape. My toes, just pretty colors, not broken. I don't recommend dropping hammers on toes as birthday activity. It's ouchy, really ouchy. Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. Dropping heavy stuff and especially hammers and things like that on your toes is not. It's not cool. Oh, I have Top Chat open instead of Live Chat. I wonder if I'm missing anything. Nope, not missing anything. Kylan Landry says, "Nah, bro, 25 downhill from there." No, I don't think that's not even possible. That can't be possible. 25? No. Nano Aquarium guy, what's going on? Happy birthday. Oh, thank you. Same to you. Happy birthday to you too. Anyhow, so the home thing is, it's a disaster, dude. I mean, I can't tell you how much more of a disaster it is. And I would say that I honestly would say if we've learned like 10 lessons from this buying experience, that's probably short of what we've gone through at this point. So I guess ultimately I've learned a lot. So I guess that's a good thing. Furry Pal Grover says, "Can you look at a second appraisal?" We've already done that. And it's not. There's nothing doing there. So we tried to get them to raise the appraisal to an appraisal adjustment, and then we could also go and order another appraisal, but. So the way that it works in the States, I don't know if you're in the States or not. At least in Washington State for sure. You can't order who does the second appraisal. You just order an appraisal through your bank, and it's all third party and anonymous basically. So you can't influence the appraisal. And the guy that did the appraisal, he just seems like a reputable guy. Like I don't think he was doing anything shady or anything like that. I think he was just being conservative in finance, Like, I don't know, not to cast anything on his politics or anything like that. I think he was just being conservative financially, which is most likely an advantageous way to operate if you're somebody who does appraisals, property appraisals, right? To be not wrong, right? So it just kind of is what it is. So right now, we have sort of a no contact negotiation ongoing with the seller, in which we'll find out at some point if he's willing to come down on the price. It just kind of is what it is. If he decides not to, he can take his earnest money, and if he decides to come down, hopefully it's enough that we can cover that gap, Like, we're willing to cover a gap, but we just don't, you can't get blood from a turnip. Like, we just don't have, we don't have the money to do that, So it is what it is. Big D Smoke with a $25 super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, happy birthday to you too, Dennis. Happy birthday to you too. I wonder if the appraisal is affected by the current interest rate rather than what it would have been before on the lower interest rate. I don't believe so. I don't believe that's how they do property appraisals. That I don't think the interest rate in lending money has anything to do with appraising the value of a property. But one of the things that I wanted him to talk to about with the seller is that the interest rate has gone up a lot in even just the past 3 weeks. Like, mortgage rates chart monthly. Let's take a look. We're looking for a chart. We need a chart of where the interest rate has gone. Okay, that's not a chart. That's why I put chart in here. Okay, that's German. Okay, nobody wants to show us what's the website you're supposed to look at. There should be like Mortgage rates chart 2021. Oh my god. See, here's one of the issues I have. It's like you just want to go look up some information, but then it turns into this like everything is just encapsulated in capitalism, where it's like, hey, we're here to sell you a mortgage rate. Here we go. Have a mortgage rate. Here, I will sell you a mortgage rate. Oh my god. And it's like, I just want to look at a chart of what the mortgage rates are. Okay. Finally, we have one here. Oh lordy lordy. It's a fire. Ad source. Where's desktop? Oh, there it is. Duh. Okay. Here's the current chart. So, as you can see here, oh my god, you know what we need? We need to move the yellow arrow up. Boomski. Yeah. Arrow time, buddy. Arrow time, baby. So, all right, we're looking at some wacky issues here. March 2020, right? Sitting up here about the 3.6. Then it drops all the way down to about 2.5, 2.6, 2.65, something like that in December of 2020. Then it starts to go up, right? You see this? And then it goes down, down, down. And then it was here. And then look at this jump right here. So it was right about 3 in December of 2021. Then it goes up to 3.6. Then it goes up to 3.9er. Then it goes up to 410. And it's up even higher than this right now. But this one only goes until February of 2022. So you can see it's doing this right now. And I don't know what the current one is, because we'll just leave the arrow over here. Why not? I know you guys are big fans of the arrow, so just leave that in there. Just leave that in there. So where is it at right now? I don't know. Let's see what we got. Scrolling. Do. Current. We want current. That's what we want. Oh, well. All-time high of 18.63 in 1981. Whew. That's brutal, bros. That's intense. Oh, my God. Mortgage rate, April 15th. That's today. Oh, my God. Oh. We have to give him, like, way too much information. I'm not giving you guys information. Get out of here. But nope, that one didn't help. 38 fix. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm just trying to look up what the rate is right now, and that just seems to be impossible. Fed interest rates, 22.2 mortgage rates. Oh, this might be helpful. Even a jump past 5% by the end of 2022 would be on par with or better than where rates were at decades prior to the coronavirus pandemic. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of at a point. Yeah, right now, Fannie Mae is 3.9. Really checks 5.2. Yeah, so we're at like 4.8, 5.25 is sort of the range right now. So, yeah, I mean, the rates are the interest rates are going up, which means that it's gonna price a lot of people out of being able to even borrow money, you know. So I figured, you know, just trying to explain that to the seller a little bit. Yeah. Ours was shy under 5%. It was low 3.7 for us at the beginning of the year. Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, that's where we're at right now. We're going to see if the seller is willing to negotiate. If not, we're going to deal with the after effects of that, which sucks because I'll put it this way. this is the thing that sucks. So the 30 grand is what basically Vicky and I have saved over the last managed to save over the last couple years. If we lose that, because my idea was we could buy a place that's up north, and get a lot of the things going that we want to get going, and or we could take that money and buy a new commuting truck to be able to commute a little more comfortably than what I got going on right now, and maybe save some gas money on a newer vehicle. Who knows? But that money will be gone now. And Alyssa says it's 6.5% on a 30-year fixed. Yeah. Alec the Nice says trying to buy instead of rent. Got to adjust expectations like buying land and saving for material to build a house. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah. So the Kiwi floating rate is 4.5 to 5.15. Yeah, it's something like that. So I mean, I think the thing is that like when we finalized our offer, we locked in our rate, and I think it's like I think it was at 4% or something like that, but it's already over like 5% and stuff, and certainly with lenders. But yeah, so it even in just this last 3 weeks or whatever. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this has been some of the most stressful 3-week period of that I can recall in a really long time. Yeah, and it's just kind of a bummer today that that Olivia woke up and is sick. It's just, I don't like it when I certainly don't like it when my daughter is sick. I hope people understand that. A, B, it's pretty difficult when she doesn't get to, when she doesn't get to go to her school and go play with her friends all day. You guys get what I'm saying. It's a little bit rough to deal with those vibes. And so we're just, like I said, pretty much everything we're doing is just, the next indicated step, and continuing moving forward. And, we'll just keep doing that. Yeah, it's just, we're out here in the weird vibes right now. We're just out here in the weird vibes. It's all good, though. I'm not complaining. The one thing I would complain about is one of our chickens died. And I don't mean to laugh about it, but it was just like, really? There's a little icing on the birthday cake. There's a little icing on the old birthday cake. You know what I mean? So that was a bummer. Kiwi Mamo says it's really cheap. When I bought my house 35 years ago, I paid about 15% ish. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you guys. Yes, the interest rates and loaning money is cheaper. Is a lot cheaper now than it was 35 years ago. But I'll say this. My parents bought a house like 38 years ago for $100,000, which people thought my parents were crazy because it was a brand new house. They bought a brand new construction house, and that's what they wanted because they had owned other houses before that. And they really kind of took a flyer on buying a house that was that expensive at the time. And I went and looked up that house the other day just to see, because I've been on this house search forever. That house is worth $1.3 million now. So while I will say, yes, their interest rate was pretty high on loaning the money, they would have not only it's not 15 times the amount of money, right? They would have gone. So let's say they had a $100,000 house and they put 20% down. So they put down $20,000. Divide I can't even do the math on that. So we go 1,500,000. We go divide by 20,000. Right? So they would have gone 75 times their investment. Yeah. Which I don't even know what the percentage is on that. How do you do the percentage on that? I forget. Can you just hit the percentage? Oh, it just turns it into 75%. How stupid! What kind of stupid calculator is that? I forget how you do the percentage. Is it 20,000? I think that's how you do clear. So we go 20,000. Whoop. Yes, there we go. And then we go divide by 1. Is that correct? I forget how to do the percentage thing. Yeah, it's like, what is that? 13,000%? Something like that. So, I mean, that's definitely the big difference, right? Is that like, yeah, I think it does suck paying 15% on a loan, but like in a home investment in that situation is that you kind of go like, well, but the valuation of this property is so insane, and you should have, even if you just stuck to the basic payment, you would have paid it off, right? So I would imagine that if you gave somebody an investment of $20,000 right now, and then let's say 35 years later they give you 1.5 million, I would imagine that you'd be pretty happy with that investment. You know what I mean? Like, I would. So, if I could get some kind of return off of $20,000 every time I invested it, and I just had to wait 30 years for it, I would be doing that as often as humanly possible. I'd probably sell my kidneys for that kind of return on an investment. So. Fish Tank Barn with a $10 super chat says, "Go get yourself a birthday ice cream on me." Oh, thank you so much. Very much appreciate it, Mike. I will definitely have an ice cream. I'm gonna have some vanilla ice cream and a chocolate cake tonight. That's what's gonna happen. And I had a chocolate earlier with lunch because our lunch was a freaking disaster. I don't know. I don't know what has happened to Panera Bread. Like, what happened to that place? I thought that, like, Panera Bread made, like, decent sandwiches and stuff. We've been there before. Vicky really likes it. And so Vicky said, "Hey, do you want Panera Bread for your birthday today for lunch?" And I was like, "Oh, that's really sweet, honey." And so she ordered me lunch. I got a chicken salad sandwich that was 2 pieces of bread. I got a full-size sandwich. So it's 2 pieces of bread sandwich. Chicken salad. Barely any chicken salad in there. They put tomatoes on it for some reason. And if there's 4 slices of tomato that go on a whole sandwich, correct? I got 4 tomato heels on one sandwich. And do you know what a tomato heel is? It's like the heel of the bread, but it's a heel of the tomato. It's that first cut off of the bottom of the tomato, right? Do you know what I'm talking about? When they cut that bottom slice off of the tomato, which normally you take that bottom slice and you make that into either soup or you make that into, say, pico de gallo. You want to make some fresh pico de gallo? You could do that. You could dice that up and you could toss it into your pico de gallo. You could put it in your tomato soup. You could put it in your regular soup. Whatever. Maybe you made a fresh what do you call that? Chicken vegetable? Maybe you made a chicken vegetable soup for the day. I'll throw those little diced up little tomato bits in there. There's a million things you could do with that. I literally got 4 tomato heels on one sandwich. Like, statistically speaking, there's less than 1 tomato on a sandwich, correct? There's less than 1 tomato on a sandwich. You got slice, 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 slice. There's normally more slices left out after that. So my question is did they set them all aside and then put them on a to-go sandwich because they wouldn't be there? But you literally had to get 4 of those and put them on one sandwich, right? So I don't know what to tell you guys. It was just a disaster. So it's just weird stuff going on. We had a chicken die today, which is stupid, sucks. chances are, having looked at the chicken, I think it got spooked and broke its neck. Honestly, like there's nothing wrong with it. It didn't look sick. It didn't have fleas or mites or anything on it. It wasn't swollen. It wasn't egg bound. There's nothing really weird going on. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it got spooked or something. Yeah, I don't know. Very weird. But chickens are pretty dumb, so sometimes they don't make it. Oh yes, I'm mortgage free now, and I have been for a long time. At the beginning, I paid extra principal charges and knocked thousands of interest off the cost, and 10 years off the original 25-year loan. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah, that's that deal there. If you knock down against the principal on a 30-year loan, you're basically knocking off that 30 years of interest off of that little bit that you took off of the principal. So it can be cost effective depending on your situation. It can be really cost effective to pay down the principal for sure. Excuse me. But obviously, as home prices have skyrocketed for the last 20 years, the one of the big reasons that like the interest rates have to be lower is because people are borrowing a larger amount of money. So it's a pretty correlative effect there. People need to borrow more money. They can't afford to pay higher interest rates, right? So that's just kind of what it boils down to. Nobody's called in today on the Discord. What's going on here? I thought some people wanted to call in today. Nope, they're not calling in. They don't want to call in. They don't want to call in on my birthday. Okay, no one's feeling confrontational today. So, okay. 36 likes. Is that strong enough? I don't know. It feels strong. It's been a half an hour. It's been 36 minutes. So I'm supposed to do an ad break, guys. If you haven't joined up on Patreon, do that. If you haven't become a member on YouTube, you should do that. Here's the link. There. Did it. I did my ad break. Good. Moving on. You have to make sure your loan allows early principal payments. Some don't. That's true. That's very true. Aquatic Morning Show is here. I guess there's been interest of trying to get me to come on to the Aquatic Morning Show. I don't really know what their schedule is. I think that's the biggest issue. Uh-oh. I just found out I gotta re-up my aquarium co-op jacket. I just got an email for it. Yeah, I probably should get a new one because mine's all kinds of beats up. I think it has a hole in it. I'm just getting texts and stuff during the show. Anyhow, I'm getting lots of texts from people during the show. Oh my God, Zip Gun's here. What's going on, Zip? What are you doing?
Oh, happy birthday, dude.
What are you doing?
I have a day off, so I'm just kind of sitting back and relaxing. Got 2 more days I got to work, and then I'm on vacation.
Oh, that is hot. That's hot, baby. I like it. You're going vacation style? What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to be moving my mother up here and moving her into my spare room, so I'm going to be working on getting that ready for her.
Oh, that's not hot. That's not hot, having your elderly mother move in.
Well, she's not going to be homeless when I got a home, so...
Well, I mean, it's responsible and smart and caring and all of those good things, but it's not hot and spicy, you know?
Yeah. But I think it's...
If it was, I think we'd have to hang up.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that's cool, though. I mean, that's actually, like, I look at it this way. Like, if you have the ability to help care for your parents and it's something that can work, like that is that's a privilege, I think. I see it that way.
Yeah, it's one of those, she's not going to be around for too much longer, and and I get to spend some more time with her. So there's good with it.
Plus, you live in Florida, so
Yep.
you always have the experience, or not the experience. You always have the ability to be like, hey, there's some drug-addled maniac, and he's blocking the freeway, so I'm gonna be home a little bit late. Like you always
Exactly.
have that out. Like there's some meth head with no clothes on running around in the road, so I'm delayed. I won't be able to be home till later.
Yeah, Florida's a peninsula, so it's kind of a crazy person trap. They come down and they've got ocean on three sides, so they just kind of bounce back and forth rather than leaving the state.
Yeah, they don't know how to get out.
Exactly.
And here's a weird thing. Nowadays with when people go full crazy, it's like super difficult for them to navigate the airport. Like they can't navigate the airport anymore. It used to be back in the day, if you were feeling a little kooky and whatnot, and like you had to get out of town, and you're like, I don't have a car, but I could take a taxi down to the airport and just buy whatever ticket and go somewhere, and just go away. But now you can't do that anymore. We've lost out. So I think when people say the good old days, that's probably one of the only things that was better in the good old days.
Yeah, and I know of somebody that apparently, as a joke, put somebody on a plane to the Bahamas when they were drunk. It's like that ain't happening now.
No, you can't do that anymore. Yeah, well, yeah, actually, that's true. We've definitely lost out on a lot of pranking ability via the airport.
Yeah, if you get tased, you're lucky.
Yeah, you're lucky if you get tased. S says get lost in the Atlanta airport. Hell yeah. I will tell you, if you've ever been to the Atlanta International Airport, that place is a crazy zoo. You ever been there?
Once to pick up my sister.
Oh, you never been inside?
Just to the baggage claim. So I was, just on the very outer edge where, not into the layers of maze and
just
whatever.
the tip. Just the tip.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you. Every time I've been to the Atlanta International Airport, it's got a story. It's real. It's real weird.
Yeah, I have a friend that had for her job used to have to do a lot of flying, and she's flying out of Florida, so Atlanta Airport became her second home for a while.
Oh. Yeah. I it's been a while since I've been to the old airport. I was thinking about it. That I was like, it feels like I was just in Peru, but that was like 7 months ago, 8 months ago. I don't know. It was a while ago now. I was thinking about that rat. I was thinking about that rat that I murdered in Peru while I was there, and I was thinking about that poor rat I had to murder. I murdered a rat while I was there. Did I tell that story, or do you recall?
Yes.
I was trying to sleep on the boat, and there was a rat that was trying to murder me. And it was either me or the rat. It was one or the other. That's how it was going to go down. And I'll tell you this much. I ain't losing to no rat. It ain't happening.
If he was just there to nibble on something or maybe find a hot spot, you might have, had a truce. But yeah, when they're coming for you, that's it.
I swear he was trying to nibble on my toe. I probably have rabies. That's probably my big problem. Probably have rabies from a rat in Peru. Be my guess. If I had to wager like what's wrong with me, that's probably what it is. Anybody that does the math on that to go like, well, what was going on before that? Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. The craziest, most funny airport I've been to was in Delhi before they remodeled the Indira Gandhi International Airport. I've never been to India, but every time I've seen any kind of anything in context to India has always been chaotic. Like, I remember we were looking at examples of how electrical systems are handled in India, and you're just like, oh sweet Jesus, that is like every violation on one pole, yeah, so I can't imagine. Big D Smoke says sorry, Big D's playing off of the people who pay good money to get rid of rats. But you know how that goes. Rock Hard Tanks is wondering about the bestest, fastest way to ship some of those the Snow White plecos. I forget which number they are. Maybe they'll post them in the chat so I can remember with my brains. But yeah, Alyssa's got those Snow White plecos. She supplies them to Redfish Bluefish. Is it redfishbluefish.shop? Yeah. I think that's generally speaking where you can get some of Alyssa's fish. Or you can get some of Alyssa's fish possibly at the aquarium co-op, I guess, the retail store, but who knows.
Yeah, I think it's the only place she sells to that ships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only place she sells to that ships is Redfish Bluefish. So, which I still got to get up there and do a video on that place. I'm interested in doing that, and I also want to get down to Oregon to do the final part of this the Oregon store. Which the name of their store escapes my brain right now, but they're in Eugene, Oregon. I want to get down there so I could shoot the other half of this video. Well, the other third of this video, I think, really, to release that on the population of humans that are on the internet. Speaking of that, somebody was who was I listening to earlier? Oh, Aquarium Adventures, the guy out of UK. He was doing a live stream, and I just popped in to listen for, I don't know, 5 minutes or something like that. And he was talking about how he'd hired an editor for his videos, which is great. I love to hear that. It sounds like he's doing pretty good. And but he was talking about it, just like this stress of working on videos and stuff like that. And he was like, well, maybe we could rock it up to like 100,000 subscribers or this or that or the other thing. And I get where people are coming from on that. And then I was thinking about, sort of the trials and tribulations of me trying to hire an editor. I had a fan edit some of the videos, and I paid him for it. He did a fantastic job. The only problem is when you have somebody that does fantastic work, they move on to do higher paying work, right?
Right.
And so it's like, I could either get like really bad help, which then it's like, do I really want to give somebody who does really bad work money? Like, that sucks. Or you get really good help that ends up going away because they get hired on to do more expensive stuff out there. Which is sort of why I sort of dialed down on just focusing on having members and patrons and stuff like that, that want to like support doing the project. But, yeah, it is one of those things that I was like, I'm so glad to hear that it's working well for him. Like, maybe it's more financially viable to do, piecework in like the UK or something. And I was like, well, maybe we should just move to the UK. Had to clock a rat at work with a shovel. Those wastewater rats are fierce. Yes, they are. I will agree. Before they did all the work in the Seattle Underground with the seawall, I worked for a restaurant probably out of 15, maybe 15 years ago. Yeah, something like that. And so like 2008, 2009 in that region. And we had access into the Seattle Underground, unbeknownst to, excuse me, I got something in my throat. But we had access to the Seattle Underground down there, and we weren't supposed to have access, just so people understand. We weren't supposed to. There was a doorway that was blocked up, but not really blocked up. And those underground, undercity rats with all the, there's like wastewater, all sorts of crap going on down there. My lord, some of the biggest, most voracious creatures I think I've ever seen. They were definitely ROUSs from, if you've seen The Princess Bride, very similar to those. Maybe half the size of the ones from The Princess Bride, but still rats of unusual size, for sure. Zip, have you seen that movie?
That movie is fantastic.
It's an amazing movie. Why don't we have more good movies like that? Like, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. One of my goals is to make stuff like movies like that, and
Right.
I've considered just trying to get into the Screen Actors Guild, just for the sake of being able to try and get on some sets to, I don't know, do electrical work, carpentry work, sound work, whatever I can do to like try and get in with some of those people. Because
yeah.
Like Vicky's, one of Vicky's cousins is she works on small films. Like she's not a producer, she's a AD, so she's like an assistant director more often than not, on some pretty small films and stuff. And I've talked with her a few times, and about this specifically. I haven't just talked to her a few times, but about specifically trying to get on to help some productions and stuff like that, so I can get my Screen Actors Guild card, because you have to buy into the union. Basically, I think it costs like, I don't know, like $3,000 or $4,000, and then you have to have X amount of time on some sets and stuff. But it's a step in. It's a step in that maybe I could start doing. I don't know, voiceover or something for people. I don't know if anybody would want me to be in their production, unless as Dennis said earlier, there are people that pay good money for people to get rid of rats. Like, I could play, I think in a film I could play an exterminator, right? Or somebody who works within a mob organization, like, if that's if that's the easiest way to describe it. I think I could play one of those two characters pretty readily. Like, I don't even know. They'd probably just have to, like, hey, here's a different shirt. And I'll be like, all right.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's that's how Jesse Ventura got his union. He wanted to unionize wrestling, and that was going to happen. But he got a film and joined the Screen Actors Guild. It's like, I got my union. You guys, don't want to do it? Oh well.
Right. Which actually, it's a pretty smart move, kind of, as far as that stuff goes. I think the reality is like, the unfortunate thing is that it's sort of you just have to meet the right person that that can air quote produce or executive produce, help do the finance stuff for whatever filmish project you're trying to do. But the weird thing is that, like, if you're trying to do like a film project or something like that, you have to secure the distribution first, which is just crazy, right? That you're like, hey, we're going to make this film. Will you guys distribute it? You know what I mean? And you're like, well, what's the film going to be? Well, we can't really tell you because we haven't made it yet, and you can't see it or know what it is or who's going to be in it or any of that kind of stuff. But But yeah, will you do the distribution for us? And it's like, oh, well, if you could secure $28 million, we'll secure your distribution. You're like, oh, okay, now I got to go get a $28 million loan. You know, it's just that whole business is crazy. So I don't know.
Counterintuitive at least, and
Right.
yeah, it's dangerous letting your idea out because
Yeah.
it's really easy for them to take the idea to a studio when all of a sudden your film goes away.
Yeah. All of a sudden somebody else makes it, which I forget which. There's two movies that came out like back to back. Oh, it was the what was that? Oh God, who are those guys? What was the movie where you couldn't make a sound? Right?
Oh yeah.
Movie where you had to be silent or die. What was that? It'll come up. A Quiet Place. Yeah. This was the big controversy around A Quiet Place. Was that okay, so hold on. We got to look this up. Okay, A Quiet Place was based on, hold on, let me see here. Cuz it was based on a book. Like somebody had read the book. Edited by, cinematography starring, produced by, story by, screenplay by. Yeah, because there was like a big controversy around A Quiet Place because it was based on a book. Hold on. We got to look this up. So we got to look up A Quiet Place based on what book? So then if we get the book, it's based on the book The Silence. And then there is a movie that's basically the exact same movie. Yeah, it's called The Silence. And so the Silence, it's the exact same premise. It's basically the exact same movie. So it's like Krasinski and the other and his wife, they pushed through making A Quiet Place, which was in production at the exact same time that The Silence was in production, and it's based on it's based on this book. And it's super weird because, like, people are like, well, The Quiet Place ripped off The Silence, but they go, well, The Silence came out after A Quiet Place. Well, they pushed getting the release date early on A Quiet Place so that it would seem like that they came out with it first. So it's like it's this really weird, like yeah, so the weird thing is like, even here, like, there's an article right here that The Silence Review, a shoddy remix of A Quiet Place is a Netflix disaster. But like, yeah, so here's the weird thing. So the weird thing is that it was cast and shot in 2017. The Silence was, but it had problems with getting released early. And then I think A Quiet Place was shot at the beginning of 2018, and then released out. And then people were like legitimately going, "Oh, The Silence ripped off A Quiet Place," but it was, from what I understand, the other way around. Like, but just because The Silence had problem with getting distribution, that Emily Blunt and John Krasinski get credit for how good that movie was or whatever. Yeah, so it's really weird. Yeah, because they premiered it at South by Southwest, The Quiet Place, so that they could push the release date really quick, because you can release at these little so I don't know. I don't know. The whole thing is just super weird, but yeah, whatever. Who cares? This show isn't about A Quiet Place or John Krasinski being a weird creep.
It's a snake pit. The way they do a lot of the financing and releasing, and screwing everybody over.
Yeah. Well, it's like, so one of the issues is like, if you bring something up like oh, John Krasinski is being shady or whatever. It's like they think that he's the guy from uh the TV show he was in. What's the
J. Michael Straczynski, and he's a different dude.
what's that?
J. Michael Straczynski.
No, they think that John Krasinski. They isn't his name John? Yeah, John Krasinski. He was the guy that was he was the guy that was on that TV show, which escapes my mind right now. The Office. Yeah, there we go. They think that he is the character from The Office, right? Like it's one of those weird things that if an actor plays a role that exists for a really long time, the character traits of that character that they play get attributed to the actor, right?
Right.
Which has no real validity, right? But it's just a thing of human nature. It's like that first impression thing, right?
Right.
Yeah, they think he's Jim Halpert. Yeah, from The Office. There you go. That's the weird thing is like their impression is like, hey, he's just this sweet guy. And you're like, well, no, not, I mean, that I'm not necessarily saying there's anything wrong with that guy, but like he's not the character from the TV show. He's the actor that played him. S says sewer gigantism. It's very true. With those giant rats, those ROUSs, very, very much sewer gigantism. They have a lot of problems. Oh my God. Zip.
Yes.
Zip. Oh my God. It's been a half an hour. You know what that means?
I do.
Do you know what that means?
That means it's time to remind people.
Oh my God, become a YouTube member today. There's the button in the chat. Okay, anyhow, back to what we were talking about. The giant rats. I will tell you, when we were down in the Seattle underground down there where we're not supposed to be, first off, it was like super dangerous down there because it's all just pointy nonsense and slippery surfaces, and like people aren't supposed to be down there, right?
Right.
And it was very deteriorated, pretty dangerous, and there's probably all number of like weird, gross diseases and stuff you could have caught while you were down there, but not to mention just the slipping and falling hazards and stuff like that. But the rats really are what stood out to me because man, there was a lot of like rat chirping and scuttering and like squishy noises ongoing off in the kind of dark, the very, very dark setting. It's like just a couple of idiots with a couple of flashlights. Like we didn't have a bunch of equipment with us. We were just exploring, and we shouldn't have really been down there. But man,
yeah, I get it. I saw chuds back in the day. I ain't going down there.
It was pretty intense, and there was a point. So across the street from where the restaurant was, at certain points in time, so across the street from the restaurant, there was actually not an underground access point, but there was a stairwell that went down 3 stories underneath the building to access something. I to this day, I still don't know what's down there. It had the big metal gate over the door. You know what I'm talking about? Like a swinging gate with the the 4-inch bars apart from each other. You know what I'm talking about? It always had like a wrought iron gate over it like that.
Nothing.
Every once in a while, when the time was right, when the time was just right, something would happen down below, which was it likely had to do with water. It most likely had something to do with water. All the rats would evacuate from out that stairwell, and it literally looked like a jam-packed freeway of rats coming up from the deep dark. Like just flooding out from underground, just literally like out of a horror movie. I mean, and then they all just go scampering down the alley and stuff like that. And oh my god, what the hell's going on underground here? It didn't help settle the nerves. You know what I mean?
Nothing good is behind that gate.
Nothing good's down there. Nothing good is down there. Oh my god, the sales pitch, it worked. We have a new member today, which means we got to update our number over here to 78. 68. Memberinos. I don't know how to say member in Spanish. How do you say member in Spanish? Miembro. Oh my god. I was actually kind of close. I was doing Spanglish and I was actually pretty close. Miembro? I'm not going to remember that. El socio, right?
El socio.
Socio. That's giving me the Spanish. That's not Mexican. That was Spanish. You hear that?
El socio.
Socio. That was like Southern Spaniard. Let's see what we got here.
El diputado.
El diputado. That's not bad. That's the deputy, though. That's... let's see.
El miembro.
El miembro. Okay. 78 miembros. Okay, we got him. We got him. Oh my god, we're getting a phone call. Do I have to mute you guys for a minute? I gotta mute you guys for a minute. Oh, isn't that fun? Isn't that delightful? Zip, did you hear that? I think Zip was listening to me. I didn't mute Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bummer, dude. We're a bummer
Yes, it
right
is.
now. We're in bummer mode. Happy birthday to me. We're $25,000 poorer now, guys. So, oh, have you ever been really upset before?
Oh yeah.
I'm like really upset right now. But what are you gonna do? I've also gone past. What are the 5 stages? What are the 5 stages? 5 stages of loss. What are they? The first one is anger, right?
Right.
Which I'm over that one. I'm not really angry anymore. What's not where? Can these people just post a list? Now I'm upset with the internet. 5 stages of grief in order. Here we go. Oh my God! Can you just post the internet is a disaster these days, you guys. Okay, denial. I'm over that. Anger. I'm over that. Bargaining. I was on bargaining. Depression. I've already gone past depression. I'm in acceptance right now. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Best. Yeah, as Alyssa puts it, best birthday ever. Yeah, we have to start a whole new savings plan, and likely, we're not moving. So just be here in Tacoma and have no money to buy a different commuting vehicle. So Lord, help me. I hope that the Explorer survives. Even though it continues to make all sorts of weird noises now that it used to not do. I have to roll down the window to open the door now. I have to rebuild the door. Because the only handle that sort of works is the exterior one. Good stuff.
That's good.
It's a quality vehicle, I mean, I put all my crap in it and I drive around.
Right.
So it does that. It does that functionally. So, yeah, actually, you know what? It is a best birthday ever because Rock Hard Tanks became a member. So look at that. We went from 77 to 78. Although I am still kind of grumpy at Corey for saying that he had 3,600 members. That was brutal. That was brutal. That made me sad. I was like, what? Oh, damn, bro. I was all, oh, damn, bro. What noise did you make when he mentioned that?
It was basically a damn it.
Did you go, oh, damn, bro? That's because
Yeah.
I did that. I was like, oh, snap. Oh, my God. That's so many members.
That's an incredible number.
Oh, my God. Sandra RG is here. I haven't seen Sandra RG in a grip. I guess it was good to do a birthday stream and say hi to some people. Why not? Well, that's hard news. That's hard news to get, but there really isn't, Zip heard a little behind the scenes there. There just really isn't that much to do other than, what we have to loan like a serious, we have to loan like we have to borrow a strong amount of money to cover the gap. Because basically put it this way, like we did our 10%, which is a buttload of money. And the gap where we were hoping he would come down to was 22,000, and that's our ability. That's basically like our ability right now is like we could cover that gap at the $20,000 or whatever, and he wants 30 grand more than that, and I don't think we can do it.
Yeah, that's a tough amount to come up with.
We'll likely end up in some kind of movie,
Right.
likely end up in some kind of movie. So my guess is we're gonna end up just living here in Tacoma for the next 100 years. So time to start remodeling, baby. We got to remodel this house more. So I don't know. Kind of a cluster, but what are you gonna do? I'll tell you what I can do.
You got access to the underground where you're at?
Yeah. The digital underground. And I can play the Humpty Dance.
There you go.
I can play. The Humpty Dance is a trance to do the hump. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
God, I love that song. I have to admit, when I was a kid, I got really sad when the digital underground went away, dude. Because I don't know if they ever went away. I think it was just Tupac got like super popular, and they were like, well, now we don't have Tupac anymore playing keyboards. I think that's a little piece of trivia that I think nobody watching this show knew about. Tupac used to play keyboards for the digital underground before he was Tupac. You know what I mean? Or maybe he was Tupac then, and then, yeah. I don't know, he called me. And I muted during the show. And I'm talking it through right now. I'm just going, I'm in the stages of grief, babe. Do you want to come down here and yell into the microphone? You can yell into the mic. You don't have to go on camera. Ladies and gentlemen, entering the show as an apparition, voice only, Vicky Toria. Raise your hands up into the air like you just don't care and shake your booty pants or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Or have food poisoning on your birthday and be taking care of a sick kid and get the news that there are definitely people that are just not good people in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We basically just gave 25 grand to some random person we've never met before. For nothing.
For nothing.
They didn't even dig a hole in our yard or anything.
No.
Why is the dog going totally
Probably because
crazy?
your folks are on their way. They may already be here.
From Belvoir?
From Beauvoir?
I don't think they've made it here from Belvoir.
Well, let's see. Oh, no. It's worse. It's Biddy's arch nemesis. Package delivery
Man?
guy.
Oh my God, it's Package Man! Package Man has arrived on the front porch.
Oh, no. No. Oops. No. Sorry. It was the lady from the Buy Nothing group grabbing the stuff off our front porch.
Oh, okay. Some old trinkets or something?
Yeah.
Bits and bobs and things. So, yeah, I mean, you and I are going to have we're going to have a strong discussion about what we're going to do, if anything. We might just lay down and take a nap and just breathe real heavily into a paper bag.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, I think we're going to need to talk about what's going on.
That's for sure. Hey, guys, you know what we're going to need real quick? We're going to need 300,000 new members real fast, okay?
300,000. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Tell your mama and your papa.
Even if they only join for just this month, 300,000 friends.
Just for 1 month.
Everybody tell 5 people.
To tell 5 people.
To tell 5 people to join.
You've created a pyramid scheme. Oh, sorry. It's a multi-level MCM. What is it? A MCM? A multi-level community?
Excuse me.
What?
In sales, we call it referral marketing. Thank you very much.
Referral marketing, guys.
It's referral marketing.
We gotta beat.
If you're happy with your service, tell your friends that you've been happy with your service.
Here's the question, though. Like, I don't know that anybody's happy with my service to the internet.
Maybe not, but didn't we discover something about dislikes as well? Or dislikes, are they still just as good as likes? I don't know. Anyways.
They've eliminated dislikes from the platform.
Oh.
You can hit the
Oh,
dislike
that's
button, but it
right.
doesn't do anything anymore.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, so at least people are hitting the like button. Why not? Why
I was
not?
going to say
Hit the like button and call 5 people
we'd
you
be
know
happy
and have
to
them
offend
sign
you
up
if
for
that's
the
also helpful.
Would be solid, dude. It'd be
Well-
solid gold. You'd be like, hold me closer, sir, tiny dancer. Right? Is that
Tony
how they go?
Danza?
Oh, Tony Danza.
Hold me closer, Tony Danza.
Mona. Samantha.
Oh, my word.
That's all I remember from that show was that Tony Danza was always like, ugh. You know, always, I don't know what he was doing. It was weird. It was a weird show.
It was weird times.
Weird times, bro.
Weird times.
What was the name of that show?
Oh, man.
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss? Ah,
Wait a minute. You have audio on?
Zipgun called in. We've been chatting.
Oh, we have a caller.
We have a caller. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Zip, do you want to
I
ask
like it.
Vicky anything?
No.
He has no
Can't do
questions
no
for
question.
you.
No questions.
Mm-mm.
No
I can
question.
answer any question you'd like about Medicare. That's helpful.
Yeah, what do we do with Part D? I heard that there was a lot of fraud in Part D. I heard about that on the internet.
I mean, I think, well, Medicare fraud is not as prevalent as it used to be. It's much, I mean, the regulation is strong. I mean, really
Right.
strong. So strong that it's confusing to people, which is why there are people like myself who work in sales and agents and things that assist people in purchasing. But Part D is the drug coverage. I don't know that there is much Part D fraud going on. It's an optional program, but you get penalized if you don't pick it up. Meaning, like, when you do need a medication later on, if you haven't picked up the drug coverage, you'll pay a penalty for the rest of your life
Oh, that's
when
crazy.
you have to pick up drug coverage.
That is crazy. Matt's calling in.
Oh,
So always pick up the drug coverage.
Yeah.
yes. Even so, you can pick up a 0 premium plan that gives you the drug coverage at no cost, and then you just have it, even if you don't use it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that there's a lot less fraud. I mean, we have a senator that made his millions off of
I'm
Medicare
sure he
fraud.
did.
Is that how politics works?
Yeah.
Generally. What's up, Matt? What's going on?
Yeah.
Hey man, happy birthday! Quotes around happy.
Hey, man.
mean-
I'm having a happy birthday.
Good.
Bad news always sucks, but
Right.
what do you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You could let it get you down, or you could lay down on the ground and breathe into a paper bag for a little while before you have a panic attack, and then get up and go jogging or something. Jogging?
I mean,
I won't be
Sure.
jogging anywhere today.
You could lift some weights. We could go on a mud run. You know what we could do? We could get on an airplane and fly out to Missouri and go on a mud run. That's what we could do.
that sounds like a good plan.
Let's do
It sounds like vaguely familiar.
Like, let's do it, bro.
in a lot of parts of Florida, that's just a run.
That's just a regular old run.
You know that Florida is also one of those places where that would be interesting.
It would be interesting. We all probably would have gotten snake bites or something, though. You know what I mean?
Well, it's amazing we didn't get ticks when we were in Missouri.
That's true.
What's that? What is it called? Is it called chiggers?
Oh yeah, chiggers.
I've heard those are miserable.
They are.
I mean, they sound miserable.
Hard pass.
Yeah, hard pass for me also. Like
That's it.
that's
the
one of
kids
those
say
bugs
no
where I'm like,
flamingo.
I'll choose not to live there. Wherever they reside, we're not residing there.
Although I will say the fireflies were pretty rad.
Oh, I love fireflies.
Yeah, the fireflies were dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. So that could be the trade-off. You know, you could have ticks, and I feel like saying chiggers is so close to a real strong language that could be confused by some people. But the bug, I mean,
Yes.
you could get those. You could have those, but you also have fireflies. But then again, you know, Missouri also has all the weird sinkholes all the time. So that's an added detractor also.
Yeah, sinkholes are a hard pass for me also. That just seems like, I mean, for somebody, well, so I wouldn't say that I have a fear of being buried alive, but that would be like one of my least favorite ways to go, like to fall into a sinkhole and die that way would be awful. Like, you'll never catch me spelunking. That's a hard pass also.
Vicky and I were in bed like, I don't know. When I say the other day, I mean like maybe 3 months ago or something. And I woke up, I was like, oh. And she, because I hadn't really gone to sleep yet, and she was like, what are you doing over there? And I was like, oh, I was having a weird thought, whatever, it's fine. And she's like, oh, no, what is it? And I was like, well, I started to explain to her. I was like, well, I was having kind of a moment where I was crammed underneath a house, pulling a wire into somewhere, and then there was an earthquake, and I didn't get crushed, but I got stuck under there, and I was just stuck underneath the house, and then I was trying to figure out how to, like, because my arms were stuck up like this in my half dream thing, and then I was trying to figure out how to like get through the subfloor of the house because I was stuck in there and I couldn't get out. And she was like, oh my God, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know, but I was just thinking about it and I don't like it.
Yeah, no, hard pass.
Yeah.
Small spaces.
Also does not sound fun. Yeah, that doesn't sound... Joel, are you okay, man? Like,
no, no, I'm not okay. No. No, it's not going good.
Is that a metaphor for the situation we're stuck in right now?
Yeah, I wonder. Your brain is constantly trying to process the shit that you can't process when you're awake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Well, this is before the money house thing.
Oh, yeah, but money was involved.
No, no, because oftentimes it's work, like because you got to get underneath people's houses and
what
stuff.
What does the Dream Dictionary
and you're crawling
say about
around
that?
under there, and it's like there's points in times where you get in such a tight spot that it's like, man, this is gonna suck if I get stuck. A or B, maybe there's an earthquake because there has been earthquakes where we live, so it's like you know. And the last big earthquake that happened here, the Nisqually one, I think was the last big one. I was at work when that happened. So it's not really a big stretch of the imagination to be like, well, that wouldn't happen when you were at work. It's like, well, the last one did. I wasn't underneath a house or anything, though. I was in a kitchen. I was in a kitchen in a brand new building and the gas main. So that place was supplied by a 2-inch gas main, which, if you guys know how big that is, that's a lot of gas going into the building. That thing snapped off the building. So gas was leaking like all over the place. It was bad.
They call the fire department.
Yeah, the fire department came and shut it off and stuff, but they were like, "Man, you guys are lucky this place didn't blow up or catch on fire." So
or both.
Oh.
Or both.
So, according to some source, I'm going to be super vague, some sources on the internet, dreams about being stuck in small spaces means natural protection. You're experiencing emotional, well, I mean, this is a given, emotional ups and downs. Wait a minute.
I love how it's like, hey, Doc, I'm having some weird dreams. And they're like, it seems like you're having emotional ups and downs. And you're like,
dude.
Yes,
obviously.
But are they created by the dreams or are the dreams
well, this claims
because of the emotions?
It represents spiritual enlightenment.
Well, I mean,
and relaxation and appreciation.
I mean, if there's one thing that I am, it's spiritually enlightened.
No. Do not take this the wrong way, Joel, but those are not words that I would typically associate with you.
Oh, come on now. Come on now. I mean, if we had 300,000 members, I could get spiritually deep. I could get deeper than Russell Brand. I'll tell you that.
That's fair.
Dropping them. I'll be dropping it on Russell Brand. That guy has gone down conspiracy theory rabbit hole.
Well, so I don't know. I don't know what I wanted. I just thought maybe I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Pop down, let you know what was going on. I should probably give our finance guy a call and see what his suggestions are.
Yep.
Because you're still in the bargaining phase.
No, we're not.
No, that's been done. There's no bargain to be had. was the news that we just
That's
got,
been done.
and confirmed that so they're not budging on the price, the agreed upon price, even though the appraisal was low, and it's confirmed that they will keep our earnest money if we exit. So
It's absolutely garbage, by the way.
it is, because $52,000 low appraisal.
Rude.
Totally
Your house
rude.
is not worth, like, I don't understand that. Your house is nice. You guys have put a lot of effort into it. It's
Not our house.
Oh,
The
not-
house we're trying to buy.
The
Ah.
house we're trying to
Yeah.
purchase. But you're right. That the house that we are trying to purchase is not, the value isn't there. So anyway, did you want to wait? I'll talk to Brian and see if there's anything that we can move around to make it less of a hit. And then did you want to wait to discuss with?
Yeah, I'll talk
others?
to you in a little bit. We'll be done in a little while.
All right.
Also, I'm sorry about your chickens.
Sounds good.
Vicky's signing off. Get out of here, Chief. Sporty Chief. Chiefy Sport. The boss signing off. See you later, boss.
Bye.
She says bye, kids, even though we're all older than her.
Bye.
Everyone is older than Vicky. Come on now.
No, well, maybe.
Yes. Well, everyone
You're
else with a
small child,
voice,
isn't
everyone else with a voice right now, I can guarantee is older than Vicky.
Fair.
She's the youngster in this whole situation here. Although she is the boss, so whatever. We just let her be in charge. It's the smart play.
That makes you Tony Danza.
Yeah, exactly. And then I sing a song about holding me closer to myself. Alana Suki says this is why we need winter. It kills the baddie bugs. Come on now. It was snowing yesterday, dude.
It was.
The 14th of April. Hey, Matt. Matt knows
Yeah.
what Mission Ridge is. Mission Ridge, the ski place. Maybe you don't know. I figured you would know, but you don't. So Mission Ridge is like lower elevation than Snoqualmie Pass, right? Which is Snoqualmie Pass is like a ski area on the East Coast because they're only at like 2,500 feet. But Mission Ridge got 4 feet of snow in the last 4 days.
Yeah, I can see it in the area. Like, you can see, because, I'm in the north end.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty close to the mountains. You can see, when you go out to I-5, you can see the Cascades are pretty low for snow at this time of year. Normally,
Right.
we'd start to have a decent melt.
Yeah. It's like by now you would think that they'd be chilling by now, but it's not happening. So, yeah. Alana says, "Isn't there anything protecting you on this?" No.
No, we live in America.
Any protections on the financial thing? So the only thing that our offer, the only difference between our offer and the competing offer is that we waived financing because everyone was confident that the appraisal would come within 20 grand of our price that we offered. Does that make sense? So like, let's say we offered 500,000. We thought that the lowest the appraisal would be was 480, right? But it came in 52,000 under what we offered. So I just, without borrowing like 50 grand from somebody, we just don't have the capital to make it happen. We just don't. It's just not there. So I actually have like a really nice family member that was willing to make that happen. But here's the issue is that the house that we were trying to buy is significantly more monthly payment. It's significantly more than what we pay right now. So there's added there's added stress right there. Right. There's also added stress under the of just the month-to-month bills, right? So then if we add in this borrowing of the money, we'd want to pay it back.
Right.
And then if we're paying it back, we'd want to pay it back like rapidly, right? So let's say Vicky and I both put $1,000 a month on paying back that. It would still be over 2 years, so 25 months, until we paid off just that. So we literally enter into a situation where we're paying so much money out every month that I really doubt. And here's my reasoning behind it, is that like I'm not sure our relationship can handle that level of stress.
Yeah, I know that feel.
And it's not that we have a bad relation. It's not that we have a bad relationship. Our relationship is good, but
money is terrible on
Yeah.
love.
every single month dealing with that, and then being like, well, we can't take any time off of work. We can't, like, let's say, let's say you wanted to buy something nice for your aunt who's super old, and you just wanted to do something nice for your aunt. All of a sudden, well, we can't afford this $400 thing that we wanted to help the aunt with because we're paying all this stuff off, right? And I wouldn't willingly go into such a catastrophic situation, realistically, and it's pretty obvious, like, that the guy who's selling the house is like, he's playing real hardball. Because I believe my interpretation from the short conversation was he's not even going to put the house back on the market. He's just literally going to like keep it if we don't,
So he's
pay
like
up.
pony up or not. Just
Yeah. Because he'll just keep the property and our earnest money, and my guess would be that he just put it back on the market next year, because the earnest money is enough to pay that
Keep it.
mortgage for a year probably pretty easily, So
yeah.
because it's public information, like how much he bought the house for like 5 years ago. So, yep, it's a bummer. So, needless to say, kidney for sale. Slightly used, slightly used kidney, if anybody has got some money. Cash only. Yeah, it's a cash only offer kind of situation.
I mean, I'm already a member, so I can't member again, and I'm on the annual, so
Right. Well, there are higher tiers if somebody out there wants to become a producer, Yeah. Not you, Matt, but somebody.
Right, because you don't want me dictating what your content's going to be.
Yeah, I can't trust you. You're not
No.
trustworthy. Your content,
Well,
I don't know what content you would have me make, but actually it might be kind of interesting. I wonder what the hell you would come up with.
I would want you to do art. I would want you to produce the documentary that you've been wanting to do.
Yeah.
It's non-fish shit at all. It'll probably irritate the remainder of your members, but
That's true.
if they want to pony up, they can get some fish documentaries.
You know what's super funny about that though is that, like, if somebody was a baller out there, it really wouldn't take like the amount of money that I think people would expect to just override the other members for a certain period of time. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Which would be funny.
I mean,
I still
funny-
think that would be funny. It would be hilarious if, like, well, I don't know, who's a famous person? Pick a famous person off the top of your head.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Hey guys, sorry to tell you, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has overridden you guys, and he paid up, and now we're making basketball videos.
Right?
Which would be hilarious. I personally, I think that would be hilarious. I don't know.
Yeah, I think your regular patrons would be a little irritated, which kind of makes it more interesting for me.
What's that?
I said, I think your other patrons would be really irritated about it, which, to be fair, like actually makes it a little bit more interesting for me.
You know what's weird? You know what? The here's the reality of what is weird, and here's the reality of like how I would feel about other channels that I'm a patron of. Is that like, let's say somebody, just in a hypothetical world here, right? Let's say somebody hypothetically stepped in and they said, "I want to pay you 10 grand a month to just make stuff 5 days a week, just make stuff and put out 2 videos a month or something," right?
Yeah.
Um, the thing is that like I would be supportive of the people that I currently financially support with like, oh my God, I would be excited to see what they would do. And
Yeah.
here's the weird thing is that like I would wager a lot of money that almost everybody that is a patron or a member of my channel would be supportive of that too.
See, that's plus, right?
Yeah, I think that everyone would just go like, "Oh, holy crap, what's he gonna make?" Like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to it." Like, "Oh," you know, because
Yeah.
like from my perspective, like I can't afford to pay somebody a ridiculous amount of money to just go make something. Like I don't have that. I don't have that financial ability. Like even if I have the desire, but I don't have the ability. Does that make sense?
No,
That
I
like
completely understand that.
um that I would definitely do that because I would be enthusiastic about whatever they came out with, but I don't have the financial ability to do it. But I would be excited if somebody came in with the financial ability and was like, even if it was a weird thing, even if it was like, I want you to make a zombie movie or something, I'd be like, I don't know, man. I'm just looking forward to it. What the hell would this be? You know, and just be generally excited for it.
Well, it's one of the reasons why I support you the way I do now, because I'm always curious to see what you'll come up with. I've
It'll be
known you long enough that I trust that you are a creative spirit, and that whatever you derive will be of interest to me in some way. And even if it's not something that I'm super into, the fact that it makes you happy meets all of my expectations.
Well, I appreciate that. It's very nice. It's very deep and very spiritual of you.
Well, you know.
Oh my God, it's been a half an hour, guys. We got to do the thing. Oh my God, you want to become a member today on the YouTube channel? Okay, whatever. I feel like my timer thing went off. You know? What are you going to do?
I would say that the Patreon is a better fit than the YouTube membership. And not to discount that YouTube memberships aren't good for what they can be good for. I feel like that Patreon is more directly beneficial to the creator. But that's me. Maybe I'm wrong.
You know, I don't think that like you're necessarily inaccurate. They both are. They're both supportive in their own way. It's like, you know, because somebody asked me, they go like, "Hey, does YouTube take a bigger cut than Patreon?" And it's like, yeah, but you know, Patreon doesn't share the YouTube channel with anybody, right?
Sure.
But YouTube internally has metrics on like, oh, this channel has lots of members. It's probably lots of people want to watch it. Okay,
That's true.
let's promote it.
There's a deeper and yeah, the algorithm is a thing.
Yeah. And so it's like, and it's not like a person making the decision. It's just that like a robot goes like, oh, look at that. Let's promote this thing more because people are responding good, positively to it or super negatively. There's one or the other that it promotes. Both generally. It doesn't have to only do one thing. That's kind of the fun thing about algorithms. They don't just do one thing.
It's true.
Alana Suki says, and the seller could choose to do the right thing and is choosing, or sorry, could do the right thing, but is choosing not to. Correct. The owner is choosing to just keep our earnest money and take the house off the market if we don't close on it, which is,
Rude.
that's a real ballsy move. That's a real like FU move.
That's a very America move.
That's very America. Yep. So, needless to say, I'm pretty disappointed in the moment, but we'll figure it out. It like I said, I think I mentioned this before. As like, we won't be homeless, we won't be starving. The bills will get paid. We'll be okay. Even though it's a big loss and it's a real bummer because I would have rather taken $25,000 and made a documentary with it. But, we were saving that money to buy another house so that we could move up north, so we could potentially make more content with like the Aquarium Co-op and people like Matt. Start to document not necessarily Matt's movements, but some of his wife's movements. Things like that.
Right.
Because right now it's a monumental obstruction to be able to like drive up there.
Right.
It's one
It was
thing to
nice-
drive over to your buddy's house because he's like, "Hey, come check out this new painting from Jody. It's like totally rad." And I'll be like, "All right, I'm on my way." And you're over there in like 20 minutes or something like that. Whereas you go like, "Oh, I'll be there in like 3 hours of sitting in traffic." It's just a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 2 hours, no traffic, 2.5 with.
I mean, I think technically no traffic. It's like, I think it's more like an hour and a half. It's more
Yeah.
like an hour and a half, no traffic. But either way,
Yeah.
if there's no traffic, you got to go both ways. It's 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it's a long trek for anybody to be making at any point in time. But how are
Yeah.
the hops doing?
They're
Matt-
growing, man. They're growing.
Matt came down and got a sample of our hops plants.
Yeah.
That giant root, I will tell you, is it's bigger than even you and I thought. It's so big. It's so big. I think this yard will be inundated with hops forever. Yeah.
I'm a little concerned that like we may have spread them
Mm-hmm.
by digging them up.
No, we'll be fine. I mean, they might have shoots elsewhere come up,
Mhm.
but that would have happened regardless. I think over the next couple of years, I think they would start popping up in different locations. They might do it like this year, but it's likely already grown over all the way over there. By this point. Seems that the hops do a lot of the same stuff that horseradish. It seems to grow very similarly to horseradish as far as like spreading out and getting in the ground, which is pretty cool. I think it's cool though. I think it's a cool feature of a plant. It's like hardy and it's coming back next year whether you like it or not. And that to me is a positive in the way that like you definitely do need to have access to food, and if there's more plants that did that, I think we'd have more access to food. I don't know. Which is probably the wrong thought process. Freshwater Ichthyology says, have you ever been tempted by doing more nature documentaries looking at U.S. wildlife? Yeah, 100%. Like 1,000%, realistically. Like a big part of what I want to do is to be able to do. I want to make content that is interesting to people who are not interested in fish tanks or fish or plants or underwater plants or any of that kind of stuff.
But like me.
And a big part of that sits around the like. It's easy to appeal to nerds, right? With the thing that they're nerdy about. And I kind of call it the World of Warcraft effect, that like, if you look at the whole platform of Twitch streaming is the basis of that is nerds playing video games, which is fine. I'm a nerd too. I'm not saying it as a pejorative, but it's nerds playing video games that nerds like, and people literally just sit there and watch them play all day. So it's kind of one of those interesting things that you could make content that applies and appeals only to the people that are already interested in it, and just continue to hammer down on that, and you will have some success. I've tested that with other YouTube channels I work with. I've tested that on my own channel. You will have some success, but I honestly feel like the stuff that has real success are things that transcend the niche that they're existing in already. And I think that applies to almost all content. And a good example of that would be like Seinfeld. Like the Seinfeld TV show, it transcended the experience of the people in the show by applying comedy in a way that was so funny that even though that they were doing such vanilla stuff, you could relate to it. Like, I can't relate to people living in New York City because I've only visited New York City for like moments at a time. I've never lived there. I don't know what it's like to live in a 25-story walk-up or whatever, right? And that kind of stuff. But Seinfeld, like, transcended that experience to the point where the people were laughing so hard at the stuff that was going on, even though it was super vanilla, that it didn't require you any kind of, like, previous knowledge of what was going on in that content, if that sort of makes sense, right? It's like you don't have to be a sci-fi fan to like Star Wars. And it's possible that the first Star Wars and stuff like that wouldn't appeal to you. But for instance, like the Mandalorian story, the Mandalorian, like, not the story, but the new seasons of the Mandalorian appealed way out to all these non-sci-fi fans. And like Jon Favreau making those is a perfect example of, like, you don't have to like Star Wars in order to like that content, because it's just, it transcends the niche, right? Same thing kind of like with the Marvel movies, right? It transcended the comic books. You didn't need to be a super comic book fan in order to enjoy a movie about Iron Man, for instance, right? Like, you didn't need to know the Iron Man backstory to watch those movies and go, well, who's this guy? Like, why does he have a suit? You know, because the first Iron Man movie did enough of an introduction to people that they went, oh, I can empathize with this character, and there's all this crazy stuff going on, and it transcends the actual comic book that people that had no interest in comic books were able to walk in, right? So my goal is to make content that transcends the niche, right? Like, if I make a video about celestial pearl danios with a bunch of, like, flowery shots, you know, cinematic shots of celestial pearl danios, and I talk about the water conditions and how they could be you know, they could be sensitive to ammonia, so you need to make sure that you're cycling your aquarium. And here's the media that I use in filtering, you know, filtering and maintaining my cycle. You know, it's like those things appeal to the aquarium nerds. The aquarium nerds will be like, oh, wow, okay. They'll watch it. They'll never watch it again, by the way. First off, is one thing. Once they've watched it, they're likely to never watch it again, never engage with it again. They're done. Boom. They watched it. They took away what they were going to take away from it, and they're never coming back again. Whereas if you were to make it, so let's take the same subject, the celestial pearl danios. If you made a video that explained and was some kind of adventure around collecting those fish, where they came from, who was the first person to find them, Why did the first person find them? Why did they bring them back? Blah, blah, blah. Actually go somewhere, collect them, show what it's like to collect them out there, but show it in a way that has enough of a storyline that regardless of who you are, going back a year later to watch it again because it's that good, that's the goal in my mind. That's the goal in my mind of making stuff that's like I could specifically air quote niche down is what it's referred to, is just stick to your niche, do your thing, do that thing. And I could likely get to 150, 200,000 subscribers. I could be making like some money every month, blah, blah, blah. But here's the problem in my mind with that, is that eventually you are going to run into a brick wall on making the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And the expectation is to continue to make that thing over and over and over and over and over again. And I personally don't want to be the person that signs themselves up to be the factory worker forever, because I could literally be doing that just by going to work at a factory. Like, I could go sign up, start working at Amazon, and work at Amazon for the next 25 years and retire from Amazon. I would likely be invested in some kind of, buying stocks every year and blah, 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 and that kind of stuff, and be continuing to do that. But the reality for me is like, that does not encapsulate the vision of my life, because I've already experienced what it's like to do that year in and year out. And the unfortunate part is like, I know what it's like for me to be in that situation, and literally I know what it feels like inside me. And for a long time, a lot of that had to do with why I never got sober, realistically, is like one of the mechanisms that the body that I live in, the psychological makeup that I carry with me, essentially goes, you got to figure out what you can do to numb this like disillusionment with life. And I don't want to specifically put myself in that position. And I don't know if I've even done a good job of explaining myself, but I do have to address the elephant in the room here. Matt says, I'm your producer this month. Make the video you want to make. Also have a better birthday, punk rocker. Thanks, man. That's very generous, my dude. I'll have to come up and we got to figure out. I think Matt and I got to figure out how to make a video. I was actually talking with a couple of guys separately, a couple of separate sort of creator-ish type people to start working on some content that doesn't necessarily have to do with it doesn't have to do with fish tanks, but I think that ultimately it's a group of people that we could make some really cool content around fish tanks along with some other stuff. It ultimately is my goal to like try and get more collaborative type stuff happening. Some of the creators that I've reached out to are just do not seem amenable. But I'm selecting from a group of people that like I really want to work with, so it's kind of an interesting vibe, realistically. Maine's Tails, Furs, and Fins said, Mod, can you put the Discord link in chat for me? Alana says, I believe the Discord link is for the member community tab on YouTube and in the Patreon descriptions. Yes.
Unless they want
So,
to join the Minecraft Discord.
what's that?
I said unless they want to join the Minecraft Discord, that one's open.
Yeah. I don't even know where that is. Where's that? Minecraft Discord. Let's see. Where's the share button? See levels and perks. Where's that share button? I always get confused as to where the share button is.
The irony is that I can't share them. Like if I put the Discord link in the thing, it just says, "Nope, you can't share."
Oh, I think you're not a mod.
That's
probably
right.
why. Hold on, let me fix that.
As he
Add
says,
moderator. There's the add moderator button. Okay, now you can add links in the chat. There you go.
Cool.
Where's the... I don't even know where that stupid share button is. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know where that thing went. I don't know. I can't find the share button. I'm an idiot. Don't get mad at me. Vicky's here. She's in the background. What's up? Okay. So you and I need to discuss?
Well, no, just briefly. I mean, I feel like we have our decision that we're going to pass on this. Brian says we can afford a house. He said just keep moving. With the money that we have in our savings account and everything, he said just pick a less expensive house and keep moving. He says maybe find a different Marcus. But whatever. If you're okay, I'm gonna let Brian know we're gonna pass on this property, and then call Marcus and tell him to get back in the field and find us something different.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll come up and talk to you in a second. All right, guys. I gotta go make some. We gotta go make some adult decisions. We gotta go make some adult decisions. I gotta hang up on Discord. I love you guys, but I'm gonna hang up. Okay. Yeah, you get it. Okay, let's go over to viewer activity here real quick. We did get a new member today, Rock Hard Tanks. Get up on the Discord since you're a new member. If you became a member on YouTube, go over to the community tab on YouTube. Scroll down, you'll find a Discord post that's members only. You can click on that, and it'll send you right through to Discord. We also got some super chats today from Dennis. Thank you very much, Dennis, for being a longtime supporter of the channel, my guy. We got to go get some donuts soon. I should schedule a donut party so we can go over there and have some donuts before we're not living in the same hood. Yeah. So, yeah, we got to do that soon. Mike from the Fish Tank Barn, thank you for supporting the channel. Also, if you get a chance, head over to the Fish Tank Barn. He's always posting fish content for you guys to check out. Furry Pal Grover, the $30 super chat. They're going through a home buying fiasco also. And I don't think I talked about your super chat, but a $30 super chat's intense, bro. Very much appreciate it. And Matthew with the leader of the super chats today with $100 super chat saying I gotta go make a video that I want to make. So I appreciate y'all supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys coming out and chit-chatting. You don't have to financially support to be a supportive person. I hope you guys understand that. But I got to go make some adult decisions on what we're going to do moving forward here. So I'm going to go try to have a happy birthday and eat some cake and get add some more LBs to my waistline, if you know what I'm saying. So we're going to be going to do that, and it'll be all good. Have a better birthday week. No reason we can't have our birthdays be a week. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's all good, baby.